I got this email today. Subject line: How to manipulate women to get what you want. It said things like, women are the real masters of deception. Date toxic women to learn their tricks. Use 10% toxic game. It makes her like you more. And as I read it, I felt sad. Not angry, just sad. Because this is exactly what young men are being taught every single day by an algorithm that preys on their confusion. This isn't strength, it's fear dressed up as confidence. And I thought, this is exactly the sickness we need to heal. Because behind every line of that email, there's a wound. A wound passed from father to son, from culture to child. A wound that whispers, don't feel, don't trust, don't love. For generations, men have been told that emotions are weakness, that vulnerability makes you soft, that control equals strength. But that lie doesn't just hurt men, it poisons everything. It turns intimacy into performance. It teaches boys that attention equals worth, and that it makes girls and women carry the weight of feeling safe, in a world that keeps confusing dominance with desire. Welcome back to 340, the podcast where we talk about intimacy, presence, and emotional truth behind pleasure. Let me read you the email. Hey man, here's something that isn't talked about enough. On average, men are the real victims of manipulation. 10k table in the club, 30k for a designer bag, flying a girl out to Dubai, Mykonos or Ibiza. Women are naturally better at getting what they want. Especially those attractive ones that like the high lifestyle. They're the true masters of the art of deception. We're direct and get caught cheating way easier, for example. Whereas women are sneaky and use an arsenal of tricks to pull the veil over our eyes. Think about it, 9s and 10s that convince you that they've had only one boyfriend. How they get men to spoil them and pay for expensive surgeries. How they make men fall in love. How they easily make you jealous after you break up with her and you end up calling her 10th time in a row begging to have her back. How they recover super fast after breakups. Women are natural at this, whereas men are the ones who have some learning to do. Fortunately, it's not hard. You do it by just analyzing female behavior. Reverse engineer and use it later on if you want to. It's counterintuitive and that's why no one talks about it. But the best decision you can make if you want to be high level in dating is to purposefully date toxic women. Like actual dark triad demons. Go get some crazy girls for the fun and for the lessons. Don't marry them. Just see it as a learning experience. It's not for the faint of heart, but it can certainly protect you in the future when you're looking for the right girl. P.S. I'm not a proponent of acting extreme like an unhealthy toxic woman, but there are times when just 10% toxic game can get a woman to like you more. That was the email. You might think this is extreme, but it isn't. This is what thousands of young men see in their feeds every day. They're not evil, but they're confused. Because when no one teaches you what love really is, the internet will. And that's why this conversation matters. Because if we as adults stay silent, algorithms will raise our sons. Porn will shape their desires. And the line between play and violation, between pleasure and power, will vanish before they even turn 12. And what's striking is, the same algorithm that tells men to dominate is also telling women to obey. Scroll through TikTok and you'll see it. The rise of the tradwife. Women preaching submission, silence, and dependence as the path to love. But this isn't devotion. It's fear wearing a different mask. On one side, men are taught to perform control. On the other, women are taught to perform surrender. Both lose touch with what love actually is. Partnership, presence, mutual safety. Because love doesn't need hierarchy, it needs honesty. A very good friend told me something recently. She was out running and she saw 5 11-year-old boys at a playground. 3 were watching, 1 lay on a ping pong table, and another one was simulating sex with a boy on the ping pong table. They were laughing, but it wasn't play. It was porn performed by children. They learned it somewhere. From algorithms, from screens, from a culture that keeps whispering the same message. That sex is performance. That connection is conquest. That power equals love. And this is where it begins. Not with evil, but with confusion. We can't keep blaming children for reenacting the pain we never taught them to heal. This is not a women's issue. It's not a man's issue. It's a human issue. We have to teach our sons presence, not performance. And that pleasure begins with respect. That real masculinity isn't about control, it's about safety. Because when a man learns to be present, he becomes someone others can trust. And that trust, that quiet strength, changes everything. Love is not something you win, it's something you build. And real strength isn't learning to play the game. It's having the courage to step out of it. So yes, I got that email. And I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to talk about it. Because the only way to break the spell is to bring it to light. If you're a parent, talk to your child. If you're a teacher, ask what your students are seeing. And if you're a man, look inward. Ask what stories you've been told about power, desire, and love. Because when we heal our own confusion, we stop passing it on. And for the boys growing up watching, for the men still learning, and for the women carrying the weight, may we all remember, presence heals what performance never can. Thank you for listening to 340. Until the next time, stay present, stay open, and stay human.